Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom. There is no harm in repeating a good thing. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim be not virtuous. When men speak ill of thee, live so as nobody may believe them. Attention to health is life's greatest hindrance. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another. Love is the joy of the good, the wonder of the wise, the amazement of the gods. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs. When he first appears he is a protector. To be sure I must, and therefore I may assume that your silence gives consent. Justice means minding one's own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. All the gold which is under or upon the earth is not enough to give in exchange for virtue. Knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. If a man neglects education, he walks lame to the end of his life. No man should bring children into the world who is unwilling to persevere to the end in their nature and education. Truth is the beginning of every good to the gods, and of every good to man. Music is the movement of sound to reach the soul for the education of its virtue. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. Love is a serious mental disease. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help, and what they cannot. Thinking, the talking of the soul with itself. At the touch of love everyone becomes a poet. Let parents bequeath to their children not riches, but the spirit of reverence. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future in life. For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. The empty vessel makes the loudest sound. Democracy is a charming form of government, full of variety and disorder, and dispensing a sort of equality to equals and unequals alike. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Poets utter great and wise things which they do not themselves understand. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. Courage is knowing what not to fear. The measure of a man is what he does with power. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. The beginning is the most important part of the work. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. No one is a friend to his friend who does not love in return. Better a little which is well done, than a great deal imperfectly. This city is what it is because our citizens are what they are. Honesty is for the most part less profitable than dishonesty. Wonder is the feeling of the philosopher, and philosophy begins in wonder. For good nurture and education implant good constitutions.